Lisa T, coming at you. We got a lot of ceiling there. A lot of ceiling. And as someone pointed out to me, I should fix my ceiling. Someone watching my video said, hey, I can help you fix that ceiling. I was like, oh my God, that stands out. Anyways, I can see it now for the very first time. It's me, Lisa T, coming at you with some positive energy, reading The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beattie. Language, the language. Language is very important. The language we use in our mind, in our head, the language that we deliver to the world. Words matter. Words carry power. Words are very, very powerful. Words can cut like a knife, right? Words can, can you remember ever being in like a situation where there was like, a ton of people and everyone said something nice and one person said something bad and you couldn't help but let that go, maybe even years. Like, I remember that time in grade 8 when so-and-so said this about, that words matter, words hurt. So it's really important that we're conscious and aware of the language we're using and really important about the language we're using against or towards ourselves. So, yeah, that's just a random off about that. That has nothing to do with the reading today. The reading we're doing is August 24th. August 24th, step 8, which is made a list. Step 8 is in the 12-step program, so any 12-step program, Overeaters Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous. I think there should be a caffeine anonymous, because I suffer with that addiction big time. I'm off it again. Let's see how long that lasts. So yeah, step 8 in any 12-step program is made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. And the key word there is willing. It's not like you gotta, this step is not about calling anyone that you need to call or reaching out. It's about being willing to do that. And then you let life unfold. I had a beautiful experience when I was really digging into my recovery, a bunch of years back, and this woman from my past, from my high school years, who I hadn't seen since like grade 11, crossed my path randomly. And I was really excited to see her. I was like, oh my God, it's me, Lisa Tabando. And she was basically like, who you were so mean to me in high school. And thank God I was in a program of recovery and I knew about the steps and I was able to give this amends. And then we ended up having this beautiful moment and became friends for the first time. So you just never know how life will unfold or what's coming down the pipeline. And that's what we just keep working on ourselves so that we can be prepared for any moment that comes our way and be willing to make amends to them all. So the 8th step is not meant to punish us. It is meant to set us free from guilt, anxiety, and discord. And if any of you are watching that are in any kind of a 12-step program, I know that this step, from talking to other people, can be very daunting and scary. But it's not about this. This is all for you. All of this stuff is for you to free yourself of the guilt, of the shame, of the stuff in your head, of anything that you've been hiding in the dark deep inside of you that you're never going to show the world. So we all this stuff is to free us so that we can be fully free and fully ourselves and not carry any kind of, not be lugging around some ball and chain everywhere we go. Freedom to live in the present moment, like I've talked about in multiple videos. It's about living in this here and now and accepting ourselves in this here and now. And if we're carrying stuff from the past and guilt and shame about it, then we can't live fully present. And then also we're going to get triggered and someone says something, it's going to hit that wound if we're still carrying it around with us. So it's really important. So this stuff is for you. This stuff is for us. So the 8th step is not meant to punish us. It's meant to set us free from guilt, anxiety, and discord. We begin by making a list of everyone we have harmed on our journey as we have struggled to survive. That's key there. I love that they put that there. This all been survival. In the past, you were trying to survive. You were trying to get through. These were survival skills you developed. But now, as an adult, as a responsible human being, you are able to not be in survival mode anymore. We're now learning how to thrive instead of survive. And so, so on the journey, we've hurt people, of course, because we were in survival mode. And in survival mode, think of a dog you backed into a corner. They're just gonna, even if you're trying to help them, they're gonna bite, because they're in survival mode, because they feel trapped. Well, anyone in recovery has, I'm sure, felt trapped at some point in their lives. So you were surviving, you were in survival mode. So you hurt some people along the way, and that's okay, because you're going to change that. You're going to do something right about it today. So we have probably done more damage to ourselves than to anyone else. So we put ourselves first on the list. This is the first time I've ever seen this. Oh my God. And I was just talking about someone the other day. I was talking about, I even did it in the video. I was talking about these 12 steps and I said that I had to forgive myself. And I was sharing that with, it's interesting because it came up in conversation a couple times, and I told someone, to forgive myself, and someone said, the most important piece. And I was like, why has no one like told me that along the way? It was, so important. It's so hard to forgive ourselves. It's a challenge. But when you can do that, this is what I've learned by practicing it myself, is that when I can forgive myself, then it's so much easier for me to forgive others for being their human selves, for being fallible, for making mistakes. We're not perfect. We're all stumbling through this journey and doing the best we can in each moment. So when I learn to forgive myself, then I can easily forgive others. Woo! So we have probably done more damage to ourselves than to anyone else. So we put ourselves first on the list. Often our tendency is to feel guilty about everything we've ever done. I was talking to a young woman the other day, a good friend of mine, and she said to me, she started to get really upset, and we were talking about this kind of recovery stuff, and she said, but God, Lisa, I'm just so bad. I'm just like a bad person. I've done so many bad things. And I said, yes, that's the key there. We've done bad things, but we're not bad people. We're done bad things, but we're not bad people, and that's okay, and we can correct the bads we've done. So often our tendency is to feel guilty about everything we've ever done, everyone we've come in contact with. That is unearned guilt. Guilt is a useless emotion anyways. Guilt doesn't serve you in any way. You gotta ask. I talked to another friend recently, and I said, ask yourself, how is this serving me right now? Feeling this way, talking to myself this way, feeling guilty, feeling ashamed. How is it serving me? Because the universe is a loving, supportive universe, and it's always, everything that's happening is always happening for your higher good. So if you're putting it on yourself to feel ashamed and guilty and bad and condemning yourself and pointing so many fingers at yourself about how horrible you are, you can ask yourself, how is this serving me right now? It's not. So let's do something that serves for higher good, serves my higher good, and serves in a loving manner. So it's unearned guilt. When we're feeling so guilty about everything we've ever done and everyone you kind of got, that's unearned guilt. You didn't earn that guilt. Writing helps us clarify whether or not, so getting things on in paper. Writing I've been journaling forever, since I was in grade 3. And then, in recovery, I do lots of writings because it's good to see. And then even making a list, like getting something on paper. When you've got a whole bunch of things going on in your head and you're like, oh, God, I got to do this and I got to do that, can feel very overwhelming. But you get it on paper and you can see things in black and white, and it puts a different perspective on it. So writing helps us clarify whether or not we are punishing ourselves for no reason. So writing this list. So they're talking about writing this list of people we have harmed. So we are... but we need to be open to guidance as we work this step. Getting everything out of us and onto paper so we can be healed. Get it out. Like talking is getting something. I've talked about this way back when in some videos. Like talking, it's a release. These videos help me because it helps me release energy and process things. I get to hear what's in my head, and so getting things out. Talking it out, writing it out. It's all the way of get it out of you and get it into reality and see what it really looks like. So we need to be open to guidance as we work this step, getting everything out of us and onto paper so we can be healed. It's all about healing. Once we have made the list, we strive to become willing to make amends to everyone on it, because that is how we heal. We heal by correcting the past. We heal by doing better today. We heal by cleaning up our side of the street, people like to say. Cleaning house. We clean things in our, if you start cleaning house internally, you end up cleaning, you'll start to want your home to look better too. Like you start to clean things up and get in behind those corners, behind the fridge or, underneath the bathroom counter. Well, the same thing happens internally. You start to dig in when you start, and I don't know about you, but if I start wiping a counter, it can lead to other things. I get on a roll. And then you get into more and more spots and deeper spots that you wouldn't normally do. Well, that's what happens when you do the internal cleaning as well. So we became willing to make amends to everyone on it because that is how we heal. Making amends does not mean feeling guilty and ashamed and punishing ourselves. That's what I have to majorly work on, is to stop this lease of punishment. I punish myself so much to the point where I won't buy groceries. It's crazy. So making amends does not mean feeling guilty and ashamed and punishing ourselves. It means swallowing our pride and defenses, getting rid of that ego, that protective personality, and doing what we can to take care of ourselves. It's about caring for ourselves. It's about loving ourselves. All of it is about self-love. We become ready to improve our self-esteem by taking responsibility for it. You end up feeling better. All recovery stuff has so many paradoxes in it. You're like, if I do that, that's not going to make me feel better. It's going to make me feel worse. So you think you know the outcome. And the cool thing is it's a paradox. And you end up doing these things. You're like, oh my God, how did doing that create this feeling inside of me? It doesn't make sense. And that's a good thing, because We don't want to be thinking these things through. The mind that got us into trouble is not the same mind that got us out. So we got to do things differently. So we become ready to improve our self-esteem. This stuff is going to make you feel better. We become ready to improve our self-esteem by taking responsibility for our behaviors. We become willing to have our relationships with ourselves, with others, and our higher power restored. It's about restoring. Say sorry. Gosh, just say sorry. It's such a simple word, and it has so much power. Like I said, words have power. Words are powerful. Words are a way of expressing what's going on inside of you. It's got energy too. It's got power. So simple stories, and to yourself as well. Apologize to yourself. Forgive yourself. Say you're sorry to someone else. Forgive someone else. Powerful stuff. Here's your prayer for today. Today I will open myself to an honest understanding of the people I have harmed. God, help me let go of my defenses and pride. Help me become willing to make amends to those I have harmed so that I can improve my relationships with myself and with others. Freaking to that. Have fun cleaning up your side of the street. Love you all. Thanks for watching.